The president of the German Institute for Economic Research joins us now, Marcel Fratzscher. A lot of opposing views there. What do you think? Is this free trade deal feasible?
It is feasible, but we will see a very tough negotiation period ahead of us because Europe and the United States are fundamentally different in their structure, in their strength. Europe much more based on a big industry and the United States much stronger in services. And getting a joint agreement means compromise, and that will be very difficult to reach.
And if those compromises are made, what sort of way is this going to, what sort of direction are we going to be taken in as far as jobs go, for example?
Both sides will benefit from it. Both will generate jobs in the United States, probably possibly a little bit more than in Europe, but also in Germany and in Europe overall, we will see more job growth, even though it will not be a big game changer.
Economic growth as well?
Slight economic growth, slightly more, even though it will take many years to really fully pass through, but we will see higher growth as well, yes.
And what about standards? That's the one that consumers seem to be worried about.
Yes, there will be an adjustment of standards. That means that Europe cannot have it its way, all the way. The same for the United States, so we will have to come to a compromise. But ultimately, I'm convinced it will be good for consumers. More competition, common standards will mean lower prices, and that ultimately benefits the consumer.
And more competition, does that also mean a whole lot more products?
The product variety will certainly increase. But we will also see a change in standards in Europe, partly adjusting to what the United States is doing. So definitely it's both the price that will go down and the variety will increase.
So if there are all of these benefits, why are Germans so worried that they're going to be force-fed, chlorine-treated chickens, for example?
Yes, I mean, having a deal means a compromise. Some will benefit, some will have a cost. Not everyone will benefit from that deal. There will be industries and sectors in Europe that will see lower employment and that will have a hard time competing with the United States, the same as vice versa. So not everyone is benefiting, and compensating the losers is a big part of the negotiation.
But why all of the bad press? I mean, there are so many stories out there saying this is going to change, standards are going to go down. People are going to have to deal with the market being flooded with these chlorine-treated chickens, which is the way Americans treat their chickens, and some European nations as well, but it's banned here in Germany.
Look, when you have a compromise, not everything is perfect, right? So you will have certain things you will have preferred less, but there will be lots of benefits, in particular in terms of prices for the consumers, in terms of jobs, in terms of growth. So overall, the net is really a benefit for Europe and the United States.
What about countries outside Europe and the United States, like Australia? It just this week signed up a free trade deal with South Korea, also Japan, and it's doubling its efforts, it says, to sign up a free trade deal with China. We're seeing a lot of movement in the Asia-Pacific all of a sudden.
Yes, I think that's where the main weakness of the bilateral deal with the United States is. It's much preferable to have a global deal, because for Europe, Asia is a much more important trading partner than the United States. It's the same for the US. It trades a lot more with Asia. And the danger is that we will have less trade with Asia and with other countries because of that bilateral deal. So the first best, the preferable solution would really be a global trade deal with the World Trade Organization. But that unfortunately has not been realized so far. But still in the future, I would wish that we move more towards this multilateral agreement than this bilateral one.
Mr. Fratzscher, thank you very much for your analysis.